We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get 50 after Monday Night Raw?
Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. Almost said London again. I don't know why I keep doing this. I keep thinking I'm back in London. I'm not. I'm in Swansea now, but I am also Ben Allison, your host of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast today. It's Monday, August 18th, 2025, and we have a lot of hot takes. We have a lot of stuff to get into, which you guys have submitted to us, and it is certainly going to be an interesting episode, so make sure you watch to the end so we can answer all of them. But without further ado, let me introduce the panel for today, and let's kick things off with Clark Taylor. How are you, Clark?
The good news is I think that the fans were aware this week, at least, to send the mail to Swansea as opposed to London. That would have been an absolute nightmare had we given the wrong address and we got no mail. So yeah, I do think we've got mail. I'm fired up to be here. I don't know what you knocked off your shelf there, but it almost made me laugh mid-intro. So let's just get into the show.
Do you know what, Clark? It actually was a cat. I didn't actually knock anything off. A cat jumped during the intro. Really threw me off.
That was a suicide dive there at the time. Where you put your hand, I was like, what did he knock off the shelf?
I've just seen it replay as well, right? And it really does go in sync with my hand. That is absolutely golden. But also joining us today, we have Des. How are you, Des?
I'm doing good, guys. Oh, sorry. There's someone at the door. I'll be right back.
Great start.
Who could it be?
Who's at the door? We need to know now. Who is it?
Sorry about that, guys. I got a letter.
Oh,
we just got a letter.
Sorry, I'll read it. It says,
okay.
Get that. The letter
Today is
Mailbag Monday. They dropped me off a letter, just like you guys dropped off your hot takes. It's going to be a fun show. Ben, let's get started.
Absolutely. I mean, seemingly, they didn't send the mail to Swansea or London. They sent it to Des instead.
They
sent it to the wrong Swansea.
Yeah, the other side of Swansea. Look at that.
The other Swansea. They sent it to the other Swansea.
See?
Shoot.
I got the letter this time.
How'd they get the postal code?
I now need to change the intro to Good Evening from Swansea, Wales wrestling fans, clearly.
You're going to have to be more specific geographically.
But we got Fernando in the chat. Shout out to you, numero one. Shout out to you, Cav KSK, giving Clark and Shard some praise for their brilliant work on the Unreal interview. It is great. Really great interview. We got Eugene in the chat as well. And Carmelo Hayes saying, Carmelo, hey, we got DCX Warlord saying Carmelo Hayes should retire John Cena. Maybe Carmelo Hayes is also watching. Who knows? But up first, let's go to a question from @TheRealSom2. Sorry, that's the next question. The first one is from Rev Concrete over on Instagram, who is saying a hot take, and the hot take is Chris Jericho's retirement tour in WWE will be better than John Cena's retirement tour. A big statement there. Now, to provide a little bit of context to those of you who didn't watch Wrestling Republic News this morning, Chris Jericho recently liked an Instagram post saying that he's reportedly considering returning to WWE when his AEW deal expires in December of this year. Clark, what's your thoughts on, one, a potential Jericho to WWE return, but two, his retirement tour potentially being better than Cena's?
Chris Jericho is a very smart professional wrestler, and the fact that he liked that post means absolutely nothing. It means nothing at all. He was probably tickled by the idea of it. Who knows if he even wants to retire? Who knows? What if he doesn't want to yet? Wherever Chris Jericho's retirement tour is at that time and in that place, I feel like we'll have a delightful time comparing it to John Cena's retirement tour, which isn't even over yet. Like, what are we doing? Why are we trying to get to 2028 so fast? It's 2025. Let's all relax here. Chris Jericho is still a very active AEW wrestler, and John Cena is actually having a retirement tour. We don't even know how good it is yet. It's not over. It's not over. What am I comparing this to? Why am I so far ahead of this? I don't get it. I'll say this. Can Jericho's retirement tour in any company be better than John Cena's? Maybe. I don't know. We're talking about something that's fiction. It hasn't happened yet. Not tangible.
You are right, honestly. I can't disagree with you at all. I mean, the one thing I will say is I do think it's very possible this does happen. I do think it's possible he goes back to WWE for 1 year, maybe has a list of names. You just made the list, but this time it's crossing names off the list. Something like that could be fun to Cavcade's K point. But one thing I will say, Clark, is Jericho hasn't wrestled in AEW since, I believe, April 6th this year.
Yes, but he always has that summertime off. That's been recent. A lot of times.
He's never had this long off in
Maybe not
his
this
AEW
long.
career. I think, truthfully, and look, they've scrapped the learning tree now. Both Big Bill and Brian Keith are doing separate things. They've ignored it's even happened over on AEW Collision. I'm going to be honest here. I think it's a genuine possibility that maybe Tony Khan is starting to think, hey, fans are no longer really enjoying Jericho's stuff. His segments aren't doing good numbers. There's a lot of complaints about him. Maybe he's no longer worth the massive check which I am paying him. And maybe him going to WWE and kind of not reviving his career, but just, you know, it's basically just a new environment. Sometimes you need a change of environment in life. And I do think maybe to retire, that might be Jericho's best bet.
You know what I think? I think you just want to hear "Break the Walls Down," and I don't. Blame
I do.
You,
It is a great song.
It's a great song. It's
Can't deny that.
But that's what I think. I mean, honestly, it is what it is right here. I think he can't. I'll answer the question directly here. I think he can have a more entertaining retirement tour in the WWE than John Cena. I think that's possible. We'll have to see.
Shard is saying Jericho is a better worker than Cena. I mean, over the course of his career, undoubtedly, I'd say. Undoubtedly, surely.
Oh, one of the best rivalries with Cena of anybody, too, right? Like, he got great work out of Cena. I mean,
that's true. I mean, Jericho's had a really rough few years. Not even few years. He's had a rough couple of years, I'd say. And his work hasn't been great in All Elite Wrestling as of late. He's kind of not really fitted in there as of late. But that doesn't mean that, one, if he returns there, he couldn't do more good stuff. But it also doesn't mean that if he goes to WWE, it's going to be the same. Sometimes you do just need to change of an environment. It doesn't necessarily mean, especially if it's short term, that the Jericho Vortex is heading back to WWE. DCX Warlord says, I thought Dez betted Cody would turn heel at SummerSlam, saying that he would shave his head.
It's on its way. It's on its way.
It is on its way.
And he will.
Yeah, we're just working on it right now. It will happen. Don't worry.
We're still.
And there will be a video about it too, guys. I do promise you that. But Dez, up next. Do you think Chris Jericho could have a better retirement tour than John Cena?
A better retirement tour? I don't know exactly, just because I feel like the John Cena retirement tour is like so special just because of how much presentation was put on it. I don't think they would do something similar for Chris Jericho. As much as I like Jericho, because I'm a big fan of his, right now, though, I'm not going to lie, it's been kind of boring. He hasn't really done his thing in AEW. I mean, I wrote a book report about his book that actually happened in 8th grade because I liked his book a lot. My hot take, like I mentioned before, is I really do think Chris Jericho will come back to WWE in 2026. Even before all this speculation happened, I just had that weird feeling. I'm like, it just seems like there's not a lot of things for him to do in AEW, right? In terms of in-ring ability, all time, he's great. Right now, though, he's just kind of there. And if he can put on good matches on WWE, I mean, look at CM Punk, right? I'm a big CM Punk guy. In AEW, he wasn't putting on the best of matches. In WWE, with the more slower pace, it works really well. So I think it would be a good idea.
I do hope you are right to your point as well. Slower pace too. It could be interesting. Shard saying Jericho is a better worker than John Cena is right now, Clark.
Probably.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
I'm
with that.
going to be honest. I think it's really close. I don't think there's a front runner
I
between
think
either
it's
of them.
pretty razor thin. I think Jericho's capable of doing slightly more than Cena.
Oh,
As far as
okay.
like bumping and working more versatile stuff,
Hmm.
I think they're both equally pouring their heart and souls out, and they're veterans. So like John Cena is going to give you everything that he's capable of right this second because it is his retirement tour.
That's true.
But I
That
think
is true as
generally
well.
speaking, if we're talking about like versatility, like I don't know if John Cena could get squashed in a way that Jericho could if it was necessary for a card in a hypothetical situation right this second. So if we're talking better worker, I think Jericho has a deeper bag. I think Jericho could sell better in that scenario, the other side of the coin, not necessarily just like the getting over, but putting over. I think Jericho I would give the nod to in that regard. So I see where Shot's coming from.
I'm going to be honest. I have absolutely no idea. I think I'd have to see them both face the same opponent the same week to actually know.
That's
like
fair.
it's so razor thin and hard to compare there. Eugene saying that his matches are more entertaining than Cena's as well. So quite a few people are saying it.
Go that far. I feel like
I
Jericho
wouldn't either,
match,
Des. But
I think it depends on the match.
not even then.
that's
Like
true.
it's my opinion, at least. I feel like the last good Chris Jericho match was Eddie Kingston in Revolution. I feel like that was one of his better matches because even then, his matches are just kind of there. You know what I mean? Before he put on some really good matches, I even like the match he put on with Moxley, Danielson. He's had good matches there. Cassidy. Now it's just kind of there. I do want to add one more thing. This doesn't have to do with matches. If Jericho comes back, Kevin Owens, the reunion, come on, Festival of Friendship. I feel like they got to do it. You know
they're
what
not
I mean?
friends
I think
anymore.
it would be
Remember,
such
he
a
already
funny call.
turned on him, so now it's got to be like sketchy. He needs to.
Yeah, that's the point. He needs to be like, are they friends? Are they not friends? Is one going to turn on the other? And it, honestly, if they run that back, that would just be brilliant.
What?
And I also, I think it was, who was it who said? I think it was Calf KSK said in the comments about that list. Yeah, I would love that. Just have a retirement list going through the names. Yeah. And it's not revealed what the next name is. So it's, you're on the list, is like, now, you're not my next match. Like, that could be a lot of fun.
I'm no longer on the list.
Yeah, that's what he says after. Oh, there's so much potential there. I'm going to be honest, you. I made a joke earlier saying, I bet when he goes back to WWE, all the Chris Jericho haters who've complained about him for the last few years will suddenly be big fans. And I still kind of stand by that comment, but at the same time, I do think a change of scenery at times can do people good. And I do think in the case of Jericho, it would do him good.
Very much.
I agree. I'm with you, Ben, because I wasn't the biggest fan of Chris Jericho. All time, I am. In AEW right now, though, the learning tree gimmick, it was funny, but that's not my thing. You know what I mean? But with WWE, if anybody can reinvent themselves, it's the Ayatollah of Rock-a-Rolla. It's Y2J. Let's be honest.
Exactly. And I think AEW has kind of gone more towards, well, definitely since 2019, it's gone more towards the in-ring even more so. Mm-hmm. Whereas I don't think some of the Chris Jericho sports entertainment stuff he does, like the Learning True, which I do think had potential, I think it would do better in WWE just because of the difference in programming between the two. That's nothing against either. It's just WWE is a bit more entertainment and, gimmicky, whereas AEW is a little bit more in between the ropes.
He can do some more like improv entertainment type stuff. I actually hear where you're coming from on that. Like loud and clear. That's a good idea.
Absolutely. Shard says Jericho is on my Mount Rushmore, even though he's a bit cringy now, but he's a little overrated.
I like that. That was an introspective thought by Shad there. I gotta give him credit. No, but
I don't think many people would have him on the Mount Rushmore. So how can he be overrated if you're saying
whoa. Don't open up that can of worms with like
I will. I don't think many people have Jericho on their Mount Rushmore.
I would put him close to Mount Rushmore, if not on mine. Pretty easily.
I don't hate it. I really don't hate the idea of that.
Absolutely.
I don't hate it, but I don't think the average person would.
I think a lot of more people than you think would of my generation.
Shard's clarified his comment. He meant overhated. Completely agree on that one.
Yeah, he is.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
But, that comment threw me through a loop for a second there. But Up next, we have a comment from the Real Som 2, who says Tiffany Stratton became boring after losing to Charlotte Flair. If Charlotte won, she would have been so hated that Tiffany eventually dethroning her at SummerSlam or Evolution would have been so good. What are your thoughts, Clark?
I don't know. Tiffany Stratton needs a dance partner, and Charlotte Flair wasn't necessarily the best one. I think what Charlotte's done since makes more sense for Charlotte's return. I don't blame Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany Stratton as a performer is immensely entertaining, and she's a really quality talent as far as charisma and all of that is concerned. Tiffany just needs a dance partner, somebody opposite her to bring the best out of her, a real rivalry coming up in the near future, and we can absolutely fix that. And I agree with Calf Cascade here in the comments, like, not Nia Jax again. We did that before. It's not now. Now is not the time. Just somebody else. And I'm not 100% sure who that is. So I'd be more inclined to blame the idea that she doesn't have a next step perfectly logically than I would to blame Tiffany Stratton as a talent herself for it being a little bit wishy-washy since the Charlotte stuff.
Well, you know, Clark, I hate to agree with you, but on this case, I kind of do just completely agree with you. I mean, it's not, you know, I think that would have been a bad idea purely because, again, Charlotte needed something different. Charlotte was not over. It was not heat. It was go-away heat. The two blatantly did not like each other. The feud was awkward. It was bad to watch. I mean, they both needed to get out of that feud as quickly as possible.
Right.
They did. And for Charlotte, it has been just fantastic things since then. But for Tiffany, she, you know, to number one Superfly's comment, Tiffy's reign has been boring due to the booking. She's slowly just appearing backstage now, just like Io's previous reign, and most of her feuds have been against Nia Jax. It's not Tiffany's fault, it's the booker's fault. It's a joke at this point, it really is.
It is, 100%.
It is.
I like this idea from Chris Leclerc. I just don't think it's in the near future. Heel Bailey versus Tiffany Stratton. I think Bailey could get the absolute best out of Tiffany Stratton.
I agree.
Of anybody on the roster. I think
Wow.
Bailey could get the absolute best out of Tiffany Stratton in a rivalry. I think they could make it magic.
I want
Who
to
or
pitch another
Becky?
game.
I think Bailey over Becky in that scenario. I think Bailey's a better fit for this one.
No, you're good. That's exactly what I was going to say. We had the same mindset, yeah.
I like the idea of Becky too. Becky would be next on the list. I think Bailey is the answer to the question, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, I definitely would not complain about seeing it at all. Live Life Empire says they need to bring someone up from NXT to do a story with Tiffany. I'd love that, but the issue is Tiffy is still a little bit green in some areas, and so would that person, and so would be that person from NXT.
I think the only option, if you're actually looking at that roster right this second, would be Jordan Grace. Because of the veteran influence. So if you were going to dive into NXT, it's Jordan Grace, but I do disagree with anybody from NXT. No. Like to Ben's point, you need somebody that can lead a little bit in the ring as a veteran, 100%. Booking against Tiffy right now.
Yeah, I mean, Kafka's case saying Tiffy is doing whatever she's given. If you don't give her great storylines, opponents, and time, you can't expect her to have a great reign. You're bang on correct there. And when she does get given time, she usually, unless it's with Charlotte Flair, does deliver. DCX Warlords is Tiffany versus Michin or Chelsea Green. I'd like both of those, but again, Michin and especially Michin doesn't really have the momentum behind her right now. She's just in a loop. She's in that endless loop of people who challenge for the US title, lose.
Also, Michin doesn't feel like a legitimate threat to Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I agree.
And these other two comments to address. Lash Legend, I gave my Wrestler of the Week to on my list.
No standout of the week.
Standout, I apologize. Standout of the week, Lash Legend. I love you, DCX Warlord, but dude, not now. Not yet. Because the last thing I want, and this is another one from Chris Leclerc, Jada Parker, I don't then want to show up on the Monday after and have to talk about how the match was sloppy. So don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Because I think all three of those performers, that Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, and Jada Parker, have the brightest of futures. But we need proper dance partners in this situation.
The issue which they have, especially on SmackDown right now, and I'm saying this despite the fact I think Julia is one of the best wrestlers in the world, but when it comes to the American style, she's obviously still learning because that is a big transition, right? So over on SmackDown, you have two key positions being filled by, relative newcomers, and that's not a bad thing, but it does mean that no newcomers can immediately really go into that title position because you do have to pair experience with newcomers to really find a good balance. And that's what they're not really doing right now.
100%.
I agree.
But Shard says SmackDown's women's division is weak right now. I mean, you're not lying.
He's
the
right.
booking of it, at least.
That's fair. The booking of it, I can attest to that. There's talent there. That's what I was actually going to mention was I feel like what if you put Tiffy, not on Raw, but what if you have a draft, you have some wrestlers on Raw, like a Becky, like a Stephanie. Yeah. But we already pitched it, and I agree with it. I want to add one more thing. This has nothing to do with the her future opponent, but what if they did this? What if they have Blake Monroe and Tiffany Stratton and a heel tag team?
Not that too similar. I mean, maybe down the line, maybe in like 2 years.
Did you see yesterday's show, Des? Not that jobber.
Yeah, not that jobber, yeah. But
don't pair him with that jobber.
I feel like in like a year or two, I think that would be a great idea.
Not Blake Monroe, not that jobber.
In a year or two, I can definitely see it. And again, a draft is the answer to everything. Like I said on Allison Analysis, if you guys haven't checked out Saturday's episode, I just went off on one. A draft is the answer to 99% of the problems in WWE right now, but for whatever reason, they're not doing one. But talking about Allison Analysis, make sure that you guys go and subscribe to the Allison Analysis YouTube channel. Cheap plug. Tomorrow I will be giving you guys my 5 key findings from Monday Night Raw. Check it out. 10 minutes, edited, fast pace, always a good time. Plus, I share your thoughts as well. But while you are subscribing to YouTube channels, make sure to subscribe to Wrestling Republic Undercard, our second channel for exclusive videos, clips, and more. We're posting super regularly over there at the minute. Always a fun time, and we really do appreciate it if you guys do give it a subscribe. But moving on, we do have some more mail, and this bit of mail, and bear with me, guys, because it's a little bit of a long one, is from TGrab206, who says, this year in terms of main roster booking, it's terrible. It's not just about John's tour, but the overall look of the main roster. Of course, it's not a year like 2019, but it's definitely very weak. Many wrestlers don't have a clear goal or motivation. Many storylines don't make sense or are cut off halfway. Many segments are written in a forced way. The fact that WWE went viral is one thing, but the creatives are simply terrible this year. And I'm going to be honest out of the gate on this one. I think terrible is an overstatement. But I think SmackDown has been very, very boring. I think about half of the Raws have also been quite boring. The storytelling compared to 2022, compared to 2023, compared especially to 2024. I mean, I don't know what's happened. We've fallen off a cliff. This is meant to be the same creative team. And I've already said why I think it is. I think it's due to the amount of events which have been added to the calendar. But, I mean, look. SmackDown, it's a struggle to watch. I was watching it this week, and I wanted to turn it off, if I'm being completely honest, Des. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, SmackDown was in Boston, and I was really considering going there to watch. And I'm not going to lie, if I was looking for someone to fall asleep, that's a show I would go to. I also want to quote Shad from Wrestling Republic real quick, because he says WrestleMania 40 is the honeymoon of Triple H's booking. Well, I'll say this. Now we're starting to get arguments, right? And we're not close to the divorce yet, but there's been a lot of disagreements between the fans and Triple H right now, and in terms of its booking style. In my opinion, like most people, there's a lot of holes in WWE storytelling, right? Whether it's long-term and it works out really well, or it's a long-term and it just has a very daft ending, or it's a short-term that should go long-term that just ends very daft as well. So there's just so much inconsistency with the storylines in WWE. And to add on to your point, Ben, I agree. Listen, we here at Wrestling Republic, we love the content, right? We love the PLEs. We love providing this for you guys. But it gets to a point where it's not good because they're just rushing all these PLEs because there's not enough time to let these PLEs breathe because they're more focused on counter programming with AEW than focusing on their own product or they're just trying to do it to get as much money as possible from the John Cena retirement tour and more PLEs.
Do you know what, Des? You are spitting straight facts there. I can't disagree at all. I mean, you are right. I know Shard loves that honeymoon comparison. And I think that's a little bit harsh in terms of, I do think it wasn't just, tinted glasses. I do think the product in 23-24 was genuinely the best it has potentially ever been, especially when you consider the full package, right? Because in the Attitude Era, there was tons of great moments, but there was also a ton of bad moments. Triple H 2023-2024, it was consistently just fantastic moments. But I mean, the product's fallen off a cliff in comparison.
Yeah, and less shows in 2023-2024 because you let these pay-per-views breathe. They let them build these storylines for over a month, not 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people here are blaming TKO, and I'm not saying don't blame TKO, but at the same time, I mean, certain of these deals, of course, were made by Nick Khan too. Obviously, works very, very closely with Mark Shapiro of TKO. But I mean, I don't know if you can just simply blame TKO. I think Nick Khan, we've given him his flowers. I think we also now have to give him a little bit of criticism.
I think there's too many things you can mirror it back to. There's too many things you can compare it to now. Like before, they got stale for a year or two, for 20 plus years. It didn't matter because we had nowhere else to go. And now we've got other places to go and other places to look. It's like Biggie Smalls and Tupac. There was West Coast, there was East Coast, and it was all divided. If the internet existed, you should have seen the trolling on that. But when one or the other dropped an album that was undeniable, we all enjoyed it. And
that's true.
That's what happens. It's phases. I think Shad was spot on. I think Des, you made amazing points about that. I think this is such a complicated issue. You can't quantify it. You can't fully quantify it because you can't always also give us what we want all the time.
Well, that's true, but we should be entertained pretty much all the time.
Right. We should be entertained.
That doesn't mean it has to be giving us the champions we want and stuff, but you got to make it entertaining.
Yeah, I would say the boredom thing is a little bit overblown because I feel like a lot of people are like the me now. There's a lot of, like, I need it now. Give it to me now. And like going home unhappy from a wrestling event is different now than it was 20 years ago than it has been in the past. But yet you get a cliffhanger on your favorite show and you're like, I have to watch next week. So I don't necessarily know that isn't a factor as well, especially with the modern generation of fans.
I said this, I believe, after WrestleMania 39 when we were all there, right? But I said I'd rather go home from a show, upset at the ending or frustrated about the ending, hoping that somebody loses a championship. Obviously, in that case, it was Roman Reigns. Then go to a show and be like, oh, I'm bored. Like, at least you're emotionally invested. And right now with SmackDown, I don't care who wins. I don't care.
It's truly a struggle over on SmackDown. I think SmackDown's a bigger problem than the WWE as a whole, I guess, is part of my point as well.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, SmackDown is, I think, the biggest point here. Numero one with a lovely comment saying this past SmackDown was possibly the worst SmackDown of 2025 thus far. Ben's Allison analysis was a billion times better than watching that 2-hour boring SmackDown. Also, Ben's review is always very good. Thank you so much, Numero one. I really do appreciate your support and you watching and leaving comments every episode. Kafka's K says the shows can't be forgettable every second week. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're definitely driving the struggle bus right this second, creatively.
Yeah. But hopefully things change. Hopefully tonight's Raw is a good one. But talking about WWE, talking about the future of WWE, this last submission for today is by Katie Gaming 2002, who says, my hot take right now is John Cena's final opponent should be R-Truth. Des, I'm going to send this one to you first. What are your thoughts?
This would be really interesting if John Cena was a bad guy. Because if R-Truth was able to beat John Cena in his last match and turn him back, I would love this idea. Him beating John Cena now, it doesn't really work. You know what I mean? Because John Cena and R-Truth, they have history, but now that they're cool with each other, now they're buddy-buddy with each other, it just it doesn't hit. It doesn't hit with me. You know what I mean? But if John Cena was a bad guy, then I think this is a perfect idea. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I do, to be honest with you, Des, completely agree with your point. I think if this was a month ago, I actually said a month ago I wouldn't be against it. But now, I mean, it'd make no sense, I don't think, at this point. But Clark, what about your thoughts?
Absolutely no. What are we talking about here? What are we doing here? No. Are you kidding me? This is lost steam. He cut his hair and was like, never mind comedy. Like, bless our truth. I'm super glad he's back. I liked the story that they told when it happened, but absolutely not. No way in the world. There are so many names that deserve this spot. Our truth is awesome. I wouldn't mind if he's involved in the storyline, maybe as a friend of Cena or something like that, for some comedic stuff along the way. But if you give me Cena versus Truth for his final match, that, based on our last segment, I might actually be so not entertained I don't watch. I might actually be like, no. Like, I might as well buy a crayon box and a coloring book and just try to keep it inside the lines the best I can. It's like, stop it, please. No. There are 50 names I could think of off the top of my head that I would put before Truth in this situation. And that is no knock on Truth. That's an age thing. And now I'm doing Ben stuff when it comes to that, where I'm like, oh no, he's too old. But at the same time, like, how about Jacob Fatu? How about, heck, Solo Sikoa? Have Solo do it. How about Carmelo Hayes in Boston? Also from Boston. There's so many relevant names. Just knock it off.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say right now who I think it's going to be. I actually don't know, by the way. I'm about to say a line, but that's not true. I was about to say this isn't a prediction, it's a spoiler. It technically isn't a spoiler, it is just a prediction. But I am predicting, but I'm dead certain it's going to be Gunther.
I agree.
It's going to be.
I think it's perfect. He retired Goldberg and retired Cena.
You calling him Gunther now? I thought it was Gunther.
What's it, Gunther?
It's Gunther. But I mean, in all seriousness, he's safe hands. He's going to get a good match out of them. I think it should be Bron Breakker, and I've been saying this for like 18 months now. And maybe Obafemi, one of the two. I mean, at this point, Bronto over, maybe you do give it to Obafemi, but it should be one of those two because those are the two next top guys. It is so clear. But I don't know. We do have a comment here from DCX Warlord saying, knowing WWE for viral moments, they'd have Cena's final match be against Joe Hendry.
That gimmick is over.
I love Joe, but
and I don't mean it in the good way. I mean, it was over. Now it's over.
I don't mean it in the good way.
It was over. Now it's over. It was fun while it lasted. Mike Santana is more over than Joe Hendry was. Yes, he went super viral and the song was cute and stuff and we all liked it, but that's not over anymore. It's over.
Wow.
Two different overs.
I mean, look, I really hope Joe Hendry does get that match with Cena just for Joe Hendry's sake, but it should not be his last match. It should be like a random TV match, like a quick open challenge, quick one and done. One date, nothing more than that.
Randy Orton, do we really need to do Cena as well? What are we doing?
Well, it's his dream match, and he's putting a lot of work. I'd do it. It would do well on social media. I don't think it'd be a bad idea.
I've got like 10 dream matches, and none of them have ever been booked.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, God.
Welcome to the real world, kiddo.
Still a work in progress is saying, I think John Cena's heel turn ended too quickly. Honestly, I think John Cena should just retire now. I agree that it ended too quickly. He should not retire now.
Retire now. That would be the funniest. Like, you know what? We messed it up. Let's call it a day. That would be the funniest thing in the history of wrestling. Now that the heel run didn't work, I know I promised y'all all these dates and you bought the tickets, but I'm just going to pack it in and I'm going to call it a career now at this stage. and I'm taking my ball and I'm going home. That sounds like some of our other favorites, like CM Punk.
You know what, Clark? You've just sold me on it. That should have been what they did post SummerSlam.
I'm done with
They
this.
should have had it should have been like a work. Like they have Cena do that, and then somebody has to be the one to bring Cena back and to bring his morale back and everything. They should have had him lose as a heel at SummerSlam, then do that. Then he's lost all confidence. He's left. Somebody brings him back. He then finishes up as a face, and that's how they could have transitioned it naturally, rather than an overnight switch.
No
That's actually
return. He
great.
just calls it. He's like, you know what? We're cutting it short.
No.
I was thinking,
No.
never return. Just cut it short. He's like, I do have like a number of big houses I can go lay down at the pool at, and it's been nice seeing y'all. They will still sell the merch, so go ahead and buy it, but I won't be wrestling.
That's awful.
Oh my
Well, that's
gosh.
not awful. Like, it's a good idea. It's just awful that WWE
It's
does
not a
that.
good idea. No, it's not a good idea, is the joke, Dennis.
No, like the idea you said about Cena, like, leaving and then coming back into work, I think that's a great idea. But imagine,
It would have been better.
yeah, I think that would have been really funny.
They've
Has
never seen 11
dates.
dates.
Yes, Cascade with the comment of the year.
31K is saying that would ruin wrestling for real for me if he retired now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Like, could
man.
you imagine? That's why I'm joking about it. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, oh, you should just call it a day.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I'm done.
You know what? That was enough.
No.
We had our fun. Sorry about all y'all in San Diego and all those other cities, Boston.
No,
I bought
no,
the
you
tickets,
have to
but
come to
I'm not
Boston,
going to make it
bro.
anymore.
No.
I'm getting cold feet. I'm gonna head home.
Needs
Bro.
to go and make some more
I just bought a new sauna.
Peacemaker shows.
I'm gonna warm up.
If I
Take a
save
nap.
all this money to see John Cena and then he just says on December 12th, bro, he doesn't wrestle, I'm like, are you kidding me, bro?
He's like, I'm out. Forget
That would be
it.
his heel turn. That would be his real heel turn if he did that.
Shiva underscore DFT says Ilya Dragunov should retire John Cena. I mean, I don't think that would happen, but I actually wouldn't mind it at all and would make Dragunov feel like a significant deal.
I think it's a great idea, but
I mean,
I don't know, man.
I
Not
love
Cena.
Dragunov, but I just don't see it.
Yeah. My cat clearly isn't happy about the
Cat's
Dragunov
upset
shout
about
either.
the whole
Oh.
Cena thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
also, by
just
the way,
not.
Are we gonna address the Thugonomics post? Because that
Yeah,
doesn't
right.
work.
You read that out quickly.
Personally, he should have gone back to his Thugonomics persona when he turned heel against Cody Rhodes. Still a work in progress. Dude, in 2025, you can't do the Thugonomics persona. Are you kidding me? Like,
Chain Gang.
you can play the song and stuff, but you can't do that all the way. That's not what it's about there. I don't see that one as a possibility. But Ben, you are back with your cat.
Yeah, the cat's arrived. It was a quick
I'm just
run in,
saying,
but
I don't think Doctor of Thugonomics works in 2025.
it doesn't. No. You just couldn't do it. You'd be cancelled within seconds. And so would WWE.
Yeah.
Uh,
Other than that, it works perfect.
Yeah.
yeah.
Some of the stuff he said back then was not too well
It's like
today.
right there.
But there's another comment too I wanted to acknowledge, and that is from Still a Work in Progress about the earlier topic. Lol, Chris Jericho coming back. Why would WWE ever accept him? He's been bad-mouthing them.
He was on the Broken Skull sessions. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt
Well,
that.
yeah, that's true, but the big thing is, so did Punk, so did Cody, so did Jade Cargill. I'm sure
Exactly.
Penta did too. Ricky
That
Starks
was all
definitely
after
did.
Punk, Cody, and Cargill had already signed by the time they went on Broken Skull.
It wasn't.
Uh,
No, well, wait, Cargill wasn't on Broken Skull.
No.
Wait,
With
sorry,
Stone
what?
Cold. Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold Steve Austin on Peacock.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho is the only one as a member of AEW appeared on that show.
Yeah, but
What do you mean?
that was before Cody, way before Cody.
So what?
I think so.
Why would the WWE not accept him? Was what the comment.
They would
said.
accept him. Yeah, they would.
That's my point. Is like they accepted him when they weren't supposed to.
I mean, Punk said like actually personally horrible things about Triple H, and even still he was brought back.
They
I mean,
bugged
it's
on
Yeah.
a documentary series.
He said, 2021, April
Well, he
11th.
was
That was when
crying.
Austin and Jericho did it.
Tears.
that's
streaming
true.
down
That
his
is
face. Remember who you are. It's like one of the biggest moments. Check out that interview if you haven't yet. It's pretty good.
KK says canceling WWE. That's a real heel move.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be.
Canceling on WWE in this case, not even canceling them, just canceling on them for Cena if he leaves.
He really is going to just ruin pro wrestling.
Yeah,
but I can't make it.
No, that's...
KK saying Cody smashed Tripp's throne. I mean, that's another good point too. They don't hold any of this against them. Long term, they don't hold anything like that against them, and they really, really don't. Also, we got another comment of somebody who's just joined the stream. Shiva DFT saying WWE need a draft quick. Everybody's saying it, and they're not doing it. I can't get my head around it. But that does, guys, bring us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you to Clark. Thank you to Des. And thank you to everybody throughout the comments. We really do appreciate it. You guys have been super active today. Thank you so much. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow to talk Monday night Raw. Make sure to join us then. Peace.